Once upon a time.
یکی بود یکی نبود، غیر از خدای مهربون هیچ کس نبود.
In the high steep mountains of Norway.
بین کوههای بلند سرزمین نروژ بود.
They lived a king and a queen.
و اونجا یک ملکه و پادشاه با هم زندگی میکردن.
And they had everything.
و اونا همه چی داشتن.
They had great forests.
جنگل.
They had beautiful mountains.
کوه.
They had meadows.
رودخونه.
They had lakes.
دشت.
They had a beautiful palace.
و یک قصر زیبا.
But they did not have the one thing that they really wanted.
ولی بچه‌های عزیز،
Can
یه
you
چیز
guess
بود
what
که
that
اونا
was?
نداشتن. اگه گفتین چی بود؟
Yes, it was one of you.
درست حد زدی. یکی از شما. اونا هیچ فرزندی نداشتن.
Well, one day the king and queen were sitting at breakfast together.
یک روز صبح یک سفره صبحونه بلند پهن کردن.
It was a huge, long table, so the king had to shout, "Good morning, darling!
صبح بخیر.
How are you this morning?"
شکر خدا خوبم.
That was completely untrue. Both of them were so miserable.
ولی اونا اصلا حالشون خوب نبود.
Well, the servants came in with a great barrel full of blueberry juice, their favourite juice.
مستخدم وارد شد با انواع اقسام شربت‌ها و میوه‌ها.
And then they came in with a huge plate filled with waffles up to the ceiling.
و نون خامه‌ای که مثل کوه تا عرش میرسید.
But even though it was their favourite breakfast, they ate almost nothing.
ولی اونا اصلا هیچ اشتهایی نداشتن.
They just sat and looked sad. Suddenly, through the open door, a little baby rat came running into the palace.
همون موقع بود بچه‌ها که از لابلای از توی سوراخ کوچولویی بین در این موش کوچولو اومد و وارد اتاق شد.
The queen, she picked up her silk dress, she knelt down on the ground, she took a piece of waffle and she gave it to the little rat.
و موش کوچولو اون تیکه نون و اون پنیر و اون گردو و اون انگوری که ملکه گذاشته بود جلوش شروع کرد به خوردن.
"Oh, isn't she gorgeous?" said the queen. "My dear, darling husband, please, can we adopt her as our child?"
و پادشاه قبول کرد که اون موش کوچولو رو اونا به فرزندی قبول کنن.
And so it was agreed. And the royal tailor began to stitch beautiful little dresses for the little princess.
و زرگر دربار شروع کرد یه گردنبند طلایی براش درست کرد برای موش کوچولو و یه علمگوی طلایی، 2 گوشواره طلایی و یه تاج طلایی واسه موش کوچولو.
And then the royal builder took an axe and cut a great big hole in the front of the palace and built a little balcony for the princess.
اون موقع بود که موش کوچولو این کفشای طلایی کوچولوشو پاش کرد و اون دستکشای ابریشمیش هم دستش کرد و رفت تو بالکن و شروع کرد به همه مردم که اون بیرون وایساده بودن دست تکون داد.
And all the people, they shouted, "Hooray! Hooray! It's our princess! We love her! We love her!" Well, every night, the king and queen, they would come into the royal bedchamber and they would say goodnight to the princess.
و هر شب ملکه و پادشاه میرفتن موقعی که وقت خواب میشد تو اتاق خواب موش کوچولو و براش لالایی میخوندن تا موش کم کم خوابش میرفت.
Rock-a-bye baby on the treetop, when the bough bends the cradle will rock. When the bough bends the cradle will fall, and down will come baby, cradle and all. The royal teacher, he'd had nothing to do until that point, but he began to teach the princess. This is a flower, he said.
گل.
Very good. And this is a tree.
درخت.
Excellent. And this is the earth.
زمین.
And this is the sky.
آسمون.
Oh, she was very clever.
این دختر موشه انقدر زرنگ بود که کم کم زبون آدمیزاد رو یاد گرفت.
Soon she had learned not only Norwegian, not only English,
نه فقط نروژی، نه فقط انگلیسی،
but also Persian.
حتی فارسی هم یاد گرفت کم کم.
Oh, she was a clever princess. Well, one day the king and queen, as usual, had come into the bedroom, and the king said, "My dear, you're growing so fast. Soon it will be time for you to get married."
آره مامان بابا میدونم من دیگه بزرگ شدم و وقت شوهر کردنم شده، ولی من اگه بخوام شوهر کنم میخوام که شوهرم قهرمانترین و پهلوانترین مرد دنیا باشه.
The strongest man in the whole world. Well, of course. Do you know this man?
من فکر میکنم که پهلوانترین مرد تو دنیا خورشید باشه، چون خورشید همه جا رو گرم میکنه.
The sun, of course, you're right. He's the strongest in the whole world. And so the next day.
و روز بعد موش کوچولو خوشگلترین لباسشو پوشید، خودشو آرایش کرد و رفت تو بالکن تا با خورشید سلام علیکم و باش آشنا بشه.
And outside that day on the balcony, the sun was shining with all his might. And the sun said, "My dear, I am the strongest.
من قوی ترین هستم.
I am the most powerful.
من پهلوان ترین هستم.
I am indeed the best husband for you."
من بهترین شوهر برای تو هستم.
But all of a sudden, a great white cloud came in front of the sun.
این خورشید کجا رفت؟ ابر سیاه اومد و جلوی خورشید رو گرفت.
And the cloud turned to the princess and said, "My dear, he's wrong. It's me. I am the one that contains all the rain that pours down on the earth and makes life possible."
آره آقای ابر، من فکر کنم تو قوی ترین هستی. تو شوهر من میتونی باشی.
Yes. But just as she was preparing to marry the cloud, a huge wind blew up and blew the cloud far away.
ابر کجا رفتی؟ باد ابر رو برد.
Yes, said the cloud. It is me. It is my power that runs the world. I am the one that you should marry.
آره آقای باد، من فکر میکنم تو قوی ترین مرد دنیا هستی. من میتونم تو میتونی منو روی فرش سلیمان بذاری و همه دنیا رو با هم دیگه سفر کنیم. من میخوام که تو شوهر من باشی.
Well, just as the princess was getting ready to marry the wind came and hit itself into the mountain and couldn't even move any further.
باد خورد به کوه. وای زخمی شد. کوه جلوی بادو گرفتی که باد نمیتونه حرکت کنه.
My dear, said the mountain, it is I who am the strongest in the world. It is I who stand here sturdy and strong, day after day, year after year, century upon century.
وای آقا کوه، آره تو قوی ترین هستی، تو بلند هستی، تو استوار هستی، تو میتونی از من مواظبت کنی. من زن تو میشم.
And so the princess, she ran in to her father and mother.
مامان بابا، من قهرمان ترین مرد دنیا رو پیدا کردم. کوه.
Of course, said the king and queen, you must marry the mountain. That's definitely the best thing. Tomorrow we will make a picnic and we will go out and you can get to know your new betrothed.
روز بعد پادشاه و ملکی و موش کوچولو با هم رفتن دیدن کوه واسه بله برون و آشنا شدن.
And so the next day, everyone in the palace, they picked up their picnic baskets, and they began in a great procession to go towards the mountain.
رفتن.
And they laid out the carpet.
فرش انداختن.
And they set up the tents.
چادر زدن.
And they lit fires.
آتیش روشن کردن.
And they had food.
غذا
And they had
درست
drink.
کردن.
And they had
نوشیدنی،
dancing.
شربت،
And they had
پاپولی
singing.
کردن، آواز خوندن، رقص کردن.
But the princess said, I'm sorry, Mummy and Daddy. I must go and get to know my new betrothed.
مادر پدر من از اینجا به بعد دیگه تنها میرم به دیدن کوه.
Certainly, my dear.
خدا نگهدار.
Well, the sun began to travel across the sky.
ساعتها گذشت و موش کوچولو برنگشت.
It was getting later and later, and the king and queen, they looked at each other and they said, have we done the right thing? Have we let our princess marry the right man? Where is she? What's happened to her? Can we trust him? All of a sudden, the princess reappeared. She was covered in dirt and mud, but her eyes were shining.
مامان بابا من برگشتم، من از کوه گذشتم، من از داخل کوه رد شدم و داخل کوه غارها بود، سوراخ‌ها بود و من با خودم گفتم چه کسی هست که از کوه قوی تره که تونسته این سوراخ‌ها رو توی کوه درست کنه.
Just as she was telling them about all the holes that had filled the mountain, about how she had wondered who could have made those holes, about how she had run down the tunnels and had the greatest fun, suddenly from behind a rock, a little handsome rat man jumped out.
و اون موقع بود که آقا موش کوچولو اومد بیرون و گفت این سوراخ‌ها رو من درست کردم، منم قوی ترین مرد دنیا، با من ازدواج کن.
Of course, said the king and queen. It must be the rat boy. He must be the strongest in the whole world. Who else could make a tunnel in the mountain itself?
اون وقت فهمیدم که قوی تر از خورشید
And the sun
و ابر
and the clouds
باد
and the wind
و کوه
and the mountain.
آقا موش است.
Yes, they looked down at this little person and they saw that he contained the power of the fire, the warmth of the fire of the sun. They saw that he contained all the blessings of the rain, all the strength of the wind, and all the solid dependability of the mountain. And they thought, yes, this is the right husband for our daughter.
و موش کوچولو با آقا موش ازدواج کرد و از اون روز سالیان سال به خوبی و خوشی در کنار همدیگه زندگی کرد.
And this just shows that sometimes a very small person can be the strongest in the whole world.
فلفل نبین چه ریزه، بشکن ببین چه تیزه.
Snip, snap, snout, our story is out.
قصه ما به سر رسید، کلاغه به خونش نرسید.